Welcome to the Jeff and Alan Show, broadcasting to you on the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. Now, here are your hosts, Jeff Hamill and Alan Kling.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Jeff and Alan Show. My name is Jeff Hamill, broadcasting at the bunker, trying to escape from the liberalized University of Penn State. So I'm hiding in my house at the bunker with this really annoying squeaky chair, looking at my television screen for notes and my computer for audition, and we're just going to do the show because Alan is not here. Alan asked if he could have the show this week off, and I didn't ask really any questions. I said why once, and he told me he has stuff to do. So Alan is doing stuff. I don't know what stuff he's doing, but he's doing something of which is important, and I know it's important because he's not doing the show right now. And I know Alan would not give up on the show. He would not show up to the show. I think that's what I'm trying to say. But Alan is not here this week, but you can still contact us multitude of ways. You can go, of course, you can contact us on Twitter at the JHP, myself, and at PizzaMan721 for Alan. And you can see all of our funny inside jokes that we always tell each other randomly. You can also contact us via phone to 323-813-5227. That's our voicemail. Again, it is 323-813-5227. 323 is an area code in Los Angeles. 5227 is JAAS. So it's 323-813-JAAS. Makes sense? You could also listen to the show 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, right here at Spreaker.com/shows/The Jeff and Alan Show. You can also listen to us on iTunes, and you can listen to us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/The Jeff and Alan Show. And our newest way, which we announced, I'm trying to get it up here, right here. We announced it last week. But you can listen to us on the Calgary Nation Radio Network. You can listen to us at 2 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., and I think I heard myself at 5 p.m. one day. And really, you can just go to calgaryradio.com, look up schedule, and find the Jeff and Alan Show. Other shows include Jason's Factor Talk Radio, the Caden Calgary program, the Whitfield Analysis, the Jimmy Z Show, and many, many others that are on the Calgary Nation Radio Network. But you can contact us any way you can find. Of course, go to juniorfactornation.com, yada, yada, yada. You guys know the drill. Now, I'll be drinking a lot of water tonight because my throat is killing me. I've talked a lot today. And so I'm thinking that I deserve a good old agua, a good old water now and again. Now, before I start the show, I have to tell you, Nalgene is amazing. And here's why I'm saying that. Oh, I didn't even close the lid. Here's why I'm saying Nalgene is amazing. I've had water bottles before that I'll have a water in, and I'll fill up my water bottle, let's say 8 o'clock in the morning. By, let's say, 3 p.m., I've already refilled it 5 times. And if I don't and I drink it, it tastes like plastic. Okay? These Nalgene's, if you could hear that, that's about 200 milliliters. That's as much as left from this morning at about 8:30 this morning. Now, I'll remind you, I haven't been drinking as much water as I liked, and I went out to lunch and I had a water there. So, but it doesn't taste like plastic. It tastes like the same water that I get out of my fountain. So I don't know why I'm telling you this, but I'm going to say it because I love Nalgene's products. I do, because it doesn't taste like plastic, and it also lasts practically all day. Now we're going to talk about the weather real quick, and then we're also going to talk about my weekend here this first segment. Or not my weekend, but my entire week. My week in Virginia. But let's talk about the weather real quick. So yesterday was St. Patrick's Day, and Philadelphia has announced their second snowiest winter in Philadelphia. with 4.5 inches at the airport at Philadelphia International Airport, making it the snowiest St. Patrick's Day ever. The previous snowiest St. Patrick's Day was way back in 1892 when it was 3.5 inches of snow. So not only have we been, well over 100 years since a very snowy St. Patrick's Day, we also added an inch to the record. And I love people who not only look at this information, but also look at AccuWeather and notice that not only did Philadelphia get slammed, but also DC and Baltimore. But not only that, the entire northern, pretty much New England states. I'm looking at their map, and snow for 18 to 24 inches looks like it goes up through the very top of PA, through parts of New York. I think maybe it touches Massachusetts, goes up through, it's very difficult to see on this map, but I think New Hampshire and Vermont, goes up through possibly Maine. I think I'm actually looking at, yeah, I think that's right. Goes through all these like New England states, and that's 18 to 24 inches. Hello? Did everybody forget the fact that, I don't know, spring is supposed to happen in just a couple of days? I think it's, Thursday is the first day of spring? Maybe it's Friday. It's soon, I think, unless if this news article is lying to me. But Reagan Airport closed because of heavy snow accumulation on the 17th, yesterday, at 5:44 a.m. with heavy gusts of wind. That's in DC. That's the Reagan. Did I say something else? I think I said like another name, but it's the Reagan Airport down in DC. They closed the airport, and I love the fact that they closed this airport because people, they're just overreacting. It was just a little bit of snow. It was like 4 inches. Come on, no big deal. But aircrafts can't take off in that. And I love professors because I had a professor last semester who's like, hey. Sorry for my phone going off, by the way. I'll put it on vibrate. I should have done that earlier. Here, listen to this. You probably didn't hear anything, but I threw my phone, and I have like so many cords in here. I'm getting off topic, but there's so many professors that I have. Like almost all of them are like, "Hey, you guys should really be worried about greenhouse gases, and you should be really worried about the vehicle in which you drive after you get out of the university." I drive a Focus. I'm going to tell you one thing. The Focus is not the cleanest, but it's not the dirtiest. And I'm not so worried about my carbon footprint, more so than my gas mileage. You know why? Because worrying about those tiny little things like gas mileage and worrying about different things is so much more important than worrying about a carbon footprint that is a more expensive. Do you know that we were looking at I forget what the car is called, but we were looking at this car. My parents were looking for a new car, possibly, and we were looking at a Hyundai, I think, and it was like an SUV / like a CRV. I'm not a very big car guy, but it was a very nice, luxurious car. And my parents were looking at the prices of the regular versus the hybrid with the idea of the gas mileage difference. And for the hybrid, you will get 3 miles per gallon more than you will the non-hybrid. However, you will be spending thousands of dollars more for the hybrid for 3 miles per gallon more. So my car gets around 10 gallons to a tank. That means I'm going to that means I can go 30 more miles and I'm spending thousands of dollars more. No, thank you. I'm not going to get a hybrid compared to the non-hybrid. Now my parents, if they get that car, are not going to get the hybrid because it's like a couple thousand. It's not like $100 more. It's a couple thousand. I think it's like $6,000-$7,000 more for this vehicle because it's a hybrid. And we're worried, oh man, we just have to flip our carbon footprint down because if we don't, we're going to be in trouble and we're all going to die. Newsflash, we're all going to die. And I can go on a huge tangent on what really matters, and I will in the third segment. But here's the big point I want to make with weather and this whole global warming bullcrap issue going on. Global warming, if it's real, if it's what they're saying it is, and we're all going to die because of carbon emissions, I very highly doubt that we are the sole reason, or a very high percentage of a reason for that to happen. I think the reason why we're going to all die from carbon emission, if it would happen, is not from us, but it's from the supposed billions of years of all of these animals just exerting carbon dioxide. Now, Jeff, compared to a llama back in the Ice Age, I don't do hypotheticals. So, your mom. And then I did steal that from the Blaze, but it's true. Please, if you're going to fact correct me, please do it and tweet me at the JHP with the fact. But please don't say, well, a hypothetical situation, your car is going to burn more than billions of years of animals pooping. I don't do hypotheticals. That's why I don't like talking about billions of years ago, because it's wrong, number one. They've talked about billions, billions, and billions of years. And carbon dating is false. I'm just going all over the place with this conversation, but it's true. Carbon dating is false. There's a scientific research team that was trying to disprove or prove carbon dating. They were actually originally supposed to prove it, but they could never find a way to prove it. Here's why. They made a rock. They carbon dated it, and they found out from carbon dating it was 70 billion years old. And they said, no, that's about a week and a half old. Carbon dating it doesn't work, people. It doesn't work. So, global warming, carbon dating, dinosaurs, we talk about everything here on this show. Everything. But I have about 8 minutes, and I want to talk about my last week. So, last week I went to my sister's house for spring break. So, it seems like here the colleges, it seems like private schools had off the week before, so 2 weeks ago. State affiliated schools and like community colleges had off last week, and the major school universities have off this week. I know Jason has off this week, and some other college kids, my buddy from state school, he has off this week. It's cool. We had off last week, whatever. We all have off. But what I did was I was going to work. I was going to work at least 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. So I was going to work all week. And so my sister, she sent me a text message and said, hey, why don't you come down to Virginia at my house with my roommate and my boyfriend, and we'll just have fun. We'll shoot guns. We'll go to like a movie. We'll just hang out all week. So, and then there's a parade that goes on Saturday. So I said, yeah, I'll go down. So I drive down. It's fun. It's fine. I'm listening to podcasts and whatever else. I get down to Virginia, which, by the way, DC traffic sucks. I'm just going to say it. DC traffic, you trust our government with money and rail and roads? You should really see how they're doing with the roads, but that's beside the point. So I get down there. We do the show. It's fine. Whatever. Continue on. Thursday, me and my sister's boyfriend and my sister, we all go out to the gun range. And I could talk to you about gun ranges, and I could talk to you about gun safety and how the liberals are going after it, saying we shouldn't trust people with guns, but really what they should be doing is educating us on how to use guns with gun safety. I don't think guns are bad. I shot an AR-15. He shot an AR-15. That's a high-powered assault rifle. Yeah. Do you think I'm going to shoot an animal, an intruder, something to protect myself with a BB gun? No. It's going to be a high-powered rifle. So I shot an AR-15 variant of some kind. It kind of sucked. It was a rental, so it was like very sluggy. And then we also used my sister's boyfriend's Glock. And his Glock was great. I shot my first Glock. Every shot was right in the chest. It was like in the silhouette, not on anybody. I was shooting a silhouette, which if you don't know is like a target of like a head and shoulders, but it's like paper. So I was shooting the silhouette, not a person. And I was getting taught gun safety before I shot, before like we even got the guns, and it was great. We had a blast. There was some arguing about gun safety. Not like we weren't arguing, we don't have to learn this. We were like arguing, is it better to do this or that? And then we were told the correct response, and on and on and on and on. You guys get the picture, but it was fun. And the number one problem that we had was that we ran out of bullets. And that was the only problem. So Friday we had a chill day. I started watching a brand new show. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Eureka. I highly recommend it. And then actually after the show, I'm probably just going to watch like 5 episodes tonight. I'll probably finish the first season tonight. It's great. Love it. Then on Saturday we had this parade. And down there, it's the number one largest parade, St. Patrick's Day parade in the entire East Coast. So it's like a huge parade. It's like 5 miles long. Hundreds of thousands of people go down. It's great. But I'm not a drinker. I don't drink. It's not because I'm not 21. It's not because it's not cool. It's because it's not my forte, which is pronounced fort. But it's not my forte. It's not what I like to do. I don't like to drink. People ask me all the time if I would smoke pot if it was legal. No, it's just not my thing. I don't like it. But there were groups of drunk people, of chain smokers, and listen to the phrase I'm about to say. Openly aggressive gays. Emphasis on the aggressive part of that phrase. So we have drunks. Massive amount of drunk people. I mean, if you go down the street and you see a group of people around a truck and someone isn't drunk, it's like, what is wrong with you? Like, everyone else is drinking except for me. Then you have chain smokers. Same thing. Almost everyone there is smoking. Almost. Not the children, not, some people aren't smoking. But it's constant cigarettes everywhere. And then there's like, at this party I was at, now it's like family party, but they invited friends. There were like a whole bunch of, I'm going to say 5 gay people there, which is a whole bunch to me when I grew up in a community with like 3 total. So like 5 openly aggressive gay people. And I say openly aggressive because everybody knows, because they're like, hey, we're gay. And then they're aggressive about it. And they're like, hey, everybody here, we're gay. Okay, so we want you to respect us. And if you don't, then you're a homophobe. And by the way, we're going to tell you listen to this. We're going to tell you why it's better to be gay. If you want to hear it or not, because number 1, we're drunk. Number 2, we're smoking cigarettes. And number 3, we're openly aggressive gays. And if you're a chain smoker, if you're a drinker, and if you're openly gay, go for it. But it was just way too much. Now, I have like 60 seconds, and I want to talk about this real quick. New York and Boston mayors have backed up an LGBT group for their parade, but they have rejected St. Patrick's Day parades. And the reason they say is because people are discriminated against in the LGBT community. They are discriminated against, and we need to now look in the past of our heritage of St. Patrick's Day. We need to look forward to where we're going. And to that I say, no, we need to be looking both ways. We need to know where we came from, especially with the Constitution, and where people came from. to look forward on the decisions ahead. And I can talk about this for another whole segment, but I have to get out of here for a couple of minutes. I have to go get more water and play some commercials. So I will be right back in approximately 3.5 minutes. And then we're going to continue on with the show with a couple of more stories about money. Because it's important. I'll see you guys in 3.5 minutes. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Jeff Allen Show, broadcasting live on the Junior Factor Nation Radio Network. And I forgot to mention last segment that you guys can talk to us here on Junior Factor Nation's Spreaker chat box. And I love to talk to you during the show because we get to talk and communicate and really see where we're coming from. I love it. I do. And I hope that you enjoy talking to me as much as I enjoy talking to you all. So, we're going to talk about money. Money. A lot of it. Because there are two stories, and then I want to talk about an ongoing debate between me and Alan. So we have about 50-50 shot, maybe. I'm not doing math right now in my head, but I think this will be able to get us through. But I just want to talk about money this segment. And the reason is because a former elementary school teacher, lunch lady, was taken to jail for paying a kid to beat up another classmate. And that just sounds awful. And this story is coming out of Grand Rapids, Michigan. A former campus elementary school lunchroom aide was pleaded guilty for paying a 4th grader to beat up a classmate on Monday, yesterday, March 17th, to 7 days in jail, fined, and put on probation. Now, I would think, hey, you must have paid quite a bit of money. You must have paid like, what, $20, $30, $40? No. You paid him $1. $1 dinero. Uno dollar. Uno dinero. For a 4th grader to beat up a classmate. This girl is 19. And I don't know why. She was taken to Kent County Jail after being sentenced for a misdemeanor by their judge. I'm trying to read this article really quickly. It happened October 7th. Because I guess she was mad or something. I don't know why. What would make you think, okay, Jimmy, come here. Come here, Jimmy. So, you see Bobby over there? Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Bobby. He keeps saying these comments to me, and he keeps doing these things to me. Here's $1. Go beat the crap out of him. Now, I don't think a beating from a 4th grader is really as bad as it could get. But I think the important part is, it's so stupid that this girl is going after, number one, she should be fired. She's 19. She's not super intelligent. If you're guessing from the title that she's paying a kid $1 to beat up another kid, she's not obviously thinking about this rationally. And the kid's not thinking about it rationally either. So both parties are at fault. But she pays this kid $1 to go beat up a classmate. Great. So she's suspended, rightfully so. She's suspended for, I don't know if it says, but she has to also pay $925 in less than a half a month by April 4th. She was originally fined $1,125 and put on probation for 12 months with $200 bond paid in December follows her arrest. So she has another $900 to get before April 4th. And she's going to jail for 7 days It's probably someone is saying, I think it's her. One of her attorneys is saying, I think 7 days in jail is probably enough to have the impact that we want. Or no, sorry, the prosecutors are saying that, and I hit my desk. But this is just such a stupid story. It's why. Tell me in the chat, why do you think this girl, 19, pays a kid $1? Do you think it's the society's fault? Who do you think's at fault? I don't know. But we're going to go from stupid story to, hey, this actually makes sense, and this should happen. I like this. In Massachusetts, colleges are paying for students to take off a year after high school to travel, volunteer, or do internships so that students of all income brackets can afford or can benefit from gap years. A new program at Tufts University and existing ones at a handful of other schools aim to remove the financial barriers that can keep cash-strapped students from exploring different communities and challenges and challenge their comfort zones before jumping right into college. The Gap Year program started this fall at Tufts University will pay for housing, airfare, and even visa fees, and can often add up to over $30,000 or more. So I like this idea, because the one thing that I always think now that I'm in college is I wish I could have done more travel. And I'm only 18, and there's a girl that they have like an AP photo of her. She's a freshman. She's 19. She's looking into her dorm, and she's going to start the program, and she's hopeful. And I like this idea. It's a win-win-win-win. Number one, we get to travel. Students get to travel. They get to experience the world. I'll tell you right now, okay, classrooms are great. You can learn a lot in the classroom. Cool. You will not learn enough in the classroom compared to learning in the real world. And the reason I say that is because, number one, I think it's true. I think that you will learn so much more information out in the real world, experiencing real life, than you will in a classroom. We can talk about Detroit and how poverty-stricken Detroit is, but until we go out there and see the punishment of the government on Detroit, we will never get the picture that I would like for you to have. So, if you're learning about ancient Mesopotamia, of course you can't go back to ancient Mesopotamia, but you can go to current day and look at ruins, etc. So I think this is a fantastic idea because you get to experience, you get to take a year off of school, which I would take that in a heartbeat, and it's going to help you with financial barriers. But this is where I have a slight problem with universities. You have to go to universities to get a good job. It's the norm. That's what everybody says. You have to go to school of any kind to get a good job. To get paid to pay off where you're going to school. And we could debate that forever. But what this is doing, it's allowing students to take a year off to raise money, to go explore, to do their things, to lower the burden. And not only will it lower the burden, listen to this, not only will it lower the burden for college students trying to afford college, they're trying to afford tuition, etc. They're also able to, get this, not rely on the government for every dollar they have during the college years. They get to raise some money. They get to actually not have so much financial burden, not only on themselves, but also on the government. So I think this is a fantastic idea. I really, truthfully do. I think it's a fantastic idea. And I hope that Penn State brings this program to us, because I would love to do this. To go out, get the heck out of the school. The University of North Carolina offers $7,500 gap year applicants, while students at Wisconsin State Norbert College can receive financial aid based on need. although airfare isn't covered. So, I mean, it's not the perfect thing, but it's definitely, I think, an improvement of what I'm reading here. Now we're going to switch topics to a different form of economics, a different form of things that me and Alan constantly bicker and argue about here on the show. And if you don't know, me and Alan are both conservative. We both believe in fiscal conservatism. But Alan, I don't think, understands the way money works with minimum wage. Water. But here's the situation. So Alan thinks that we should increase minimum wage, and I don't. I think we should actually lower minimum wage. I think there needs to be something called minimum wage and something called livable wage. The government can tell us this is the minimum wage, so that there's no slavery, there's no children working for pennies. But then there's a livable wage, of which companies like Walmart, Kmart, McDonald's can pay some employees. The government is not telling them that. Now, Alan's idea, let's just pay everyone. Let's just pay everyone $15 an hour, $10 an hour, whatever the number is. Here's why that doesn't work. And I want to say this to him especially. Here's why that would not work. Number one, what should minimum wage be will always change because of inflation. Number two, when we pay students who don't deserve, when we pay young adults who do not deserve $13 an hour, they're going to, okay, some of them will spend money elsewhere. But I think the biggest thing that we forget is that right now, if I'm getting paid $13 an hour right now, I can go out in a couple of hours and buy something for $30. So let's say I go into work getting paid $10 an hour. Let's say I get paid $5 an hour, and I want to pay for something that's $30. That's like a 6-hour day to pay for that $30, not including taxes. But let's say we raise it to $15 an hour. That's 3 hours. That's half of our day is already, like half of our work day is already done. Well, let's say we raise it to, let's say 15. Well, that's only 2 hours. Well, let's say it's 20. Well, that's only like, what, an hour and a half? 25, an hour and a quarter? 30 an hour? When will it stop? We can't be paying people a livable wage. Not only because it's fiscally stupid. I almost said the R word. I have to be PC on here. But not only is it fiscally stupid for us to say, you see, we're going to pay you more and expect inflation not to go up. Because it's going to go up. If I'm getting paid a certain amount, or if inflation doesn't go up, the amount of jobs will plummet. And here's why trickle-down economics works. And I listened to a podcast, and I'm not listening to them anymore because they are so ignorant towards trickle-down. Well, you know, if you get $1 billion and you get to keep that money, you're just going to buy other things. You can. But there's also going to be people who own businesses, like my boss, who makes a couple of $1 million a year, and he employs like 50 to 150 people. Well, you know what happens if I, for some reason, have to get paid $15 an hour? Either the price of his product will go up, meaning not a lot of people will buy his product, and or he'll have to fire people to allow his full-time and some part-time workers to stay. So when you're bringing up the price, you're going to lose customers. So then anyway, he's going to have to fire some people anyway just to keep his full-time people. Do you see the problem here? I think that there should be something called a livable wage, and we should definitely mark it down. Let's say it's $30 an hour, a huge market. $30 an hour, like an awful market. $30 an hour is the livable wage. $10 an hour is the minimum wage. In this hypothetical, the government should have to pay, the government should have to enforce a minimum wage. But there should be a livable wage, but they are not the same. Am I making sense? I hope I am, but I'm running out of time. That's what I think. Should we increase the minimum wage? No. Should we realize what the actual livable wage is? Yes. That is precisely what I'm saying. So I hope that makes sense, and I want to give Alan an opportunity to rebuttal at another time. Maybe not next week, but the week after possibly, before I leave for the summer, which we'll talk about in 3 weeks, I think. I think that's our day. 3 weeks from now, we'll talk about that. But we are going to go to another commercial break, and then we're going to talk about something kind of rhinoceros-like. I'll see you guys in about 2.5 minutes, 3 minutes. We're not quacking around here. It's the Jeff and Alan Show. Welcome back. How are you? I hope you're doing well. Now we're going to talk about something else, another animal. We're not going to be talking about no ducks here. We are not quacking around, like I said earlier. We are going to be serious about this topic. We're going to talk about rhinos. And I saw a post from a friend of mine on Facebook calling Rand Paul a rhino. Now, I'm not going to name this person because I like this person. We don't agree on everything, but I still like to talk to this person. I like being friends with this person. But they call Rand Paul a rhino. And they called another friend of mine, Kyle Winner, here on The Nation, a rhino as well, if in a way. Because possible presidential candidate Senator Rand Paul, Republican from Kentucky, is telling Republicans to, yes, lighten up, soften up on some social issues. And here's why. According to CNN, Ted Cruz versus Rand Paul, a GOP road to nowhere. They're saying that there's a road to nowhere, and I agree. Because we have two different groups of people in the Republican Party trying to fight for the same, if you will, the same prize, the same goal as president. And what we're going to do is we're just going to shoot ourselves in the foot if we cannot agree on something known as social issues. I think everybody agrees, for the most part, on how we should affect foreign policy. Now, Rand's dad, Ron, he was kind of a nut job when it came to foreign policy. But his fiscal responsibility, that was pretty on point. Everybody kind of agrees here in the Republican Party on fiscal responsibility. Okay? Social issues were kind of 50-50, more like, I'm going to say 80-20, more like. And all the other issues, I think for like foreign, I think it's like 90-10, with Ron Paul being at like the 10% and everyone else not saying, what the heck, Ron? But everyone else kind of agrees, for the most part, on all three issues, but a couple of people. And I'm one of those couple when it comes to social issues. And so is Alan, for the most part. So I'm not exactly sure, but I hear all the time, social issue, social issue, social issue, social issue, financial issue, social, foreign policy, financial, social. Why does it constantly need to be social after social after social issue? Especially when it comes to the LGBT community. We talked about this last week, but I guess it doesn't really go into these people's heads, and there's multitudes of them. There are a whole bunch of people that are like, yeah, right over their head. because either they don't listen to the show or they just don't comprehend the fact of what me and Alan are saying, especially me. Because Alan's kind of like, sit back, don't argue with fellow Republicans on these issues. But these people are saying Rand is, how do I say, a rhino. He's a rhino because he's saying, lighten up on the social issues. Please. And I'm going to tell you, I completely agree with Mr. Rand Paul on this issue. We're not saying this. And there's a huge difference between what people are hearing and what he's saying. What he is saying is lighten the frick up on the three main key issues and social problems. I can tell you LGBT is the top one, immigration is another, and there's the drug war. Those three. Those are the only three that I ever hear about on some of these people's mouths or on their Facebook posts. Lighten the freak up. Our nation is going to hell, and what we're talking about is if two dudes or two chicks can get married. I understand it goes against your religion, and that's a whole debate in and of itself. But what really matters is not, hey, Billy and Jackson want to get married, should we stop them or not? When really, if you're a Republican, you should say, who gives a crap? Why is the government stepping in and getting involved in marriage? Now, you can also say, hey, they can't get married because it's against the church. And I would have to agree with that too. But what we cannot do is we cannot allow Democrats to come in between us, different Republicans here, and what we're doing. For instance, me and Alan will have to agree on this whole financial issue. We're going to have to. If we plan on defeating the Democrats in November, we are going to have to stop this pitter-patter, stupid little social issue argument. And we're going to have to sit down and figure out what we can defeat the Democrats on. Right now, it's not social issues. It's not really foreign, because everybody really agrees on foreign for the most part. We have to focus on financial situations. You've got to. If you don't, we're going to lose again. Because what we're doing is we're like, no, talk about social issues. No, talk about domestic issues. Talk about foreign issues. Let's talk about something we agree on. Let's not throw stones, throw freaking satans or roadblocks at other Republicans. I'm saying we should vote Republicans in that you agree with. Conservatives, I would have. So we're not voting for, let's say, the lesser of two evils. We're going to vote for the Republican of which, the conservative of which we agree with. That's what I would like. In a perfect world. But listen, I'm going to put some salt in your game here. We're not living in a perfect world. We're not. We're not living in a world where, hey, everyone in here is a true conservative and everyone agrees everything. Because that's not how a democracy, a republic democracy, works. I know it's kind of, ooh. People are going after Rand Paul for saying this. We need to lighten up on these social issues. Because if we don't, people, listen up. If we don't stop playing a little tiny game with the other Republicans in this party of other conservatives, if we stop doing this, we can win the election. I guarantee you we can win the election hands down if we stop worrying about freaking gay marriage. If we stop worrying about freaking drug laws. If we stop worrying about these things, we could win this election. But if we don't want to win the election, we can just throw punches at each other until one of us falls apart. And the only thing that almost every conservative believes in is financial responsibility. So why the heck are people making a living, making an entire career, making a Facebook status about gay marriage, gun laws, even immigration, which almost everybody agrees in immigration, but those two really, why are we going after each other? Why are we going to war against the Republican Party when it's not necessary? It's not. Do you know who we're against? We're against tyranny here. We're not against Republicans here in this nation. Yes, there are some people who say that they're conservatives and we should vote them the heck out. But when it comes to the election of the presidency in the midterms, listen, we need conservatives in, yes. But we do not need to throw stones at other Republicans, no. And if we do that, we are going to hinder our policy, we're going to hinder our entire agreeance on how the heck we're going to run this country, because if you can't agree in election time, you're never going to agree when it comes down to when it needs to be done. And I hate listening to Republicans arguing with each other. You should agree with me because you're a Republican. You should agree with me because you're a Republican. And they have differing opinions. Stop going to war against each other. And start going to war against tyranny. Because this nation is undefeatable until we defeat ourselves, people. Listen. The reason America will fall, like Rome and like all the other nations, is because of the people that govern it. It's because of the people who listen to Fox, to listen to CNN and MSNBC and all those other networks, and just get their news from The Daily Show, and just get their news from the Colbert Report. They're not educated, one, and they're going to war, two, against each other. Stop it. Do I need to rub your nose in it? Do I need to remind you of the 2008, the 2010, the 2012, and now probably the 2014 election? How many times do we have to go through this before we freaking learn that we will never win an election with fighting against ourselves? The Republican Party is not going to give up on having quite a few people who do believe in traditional marriage, but the Republican Party also has to find a place for young people and others who don't want to agree with us on that issue. And then we have these people over here. Nope. We cannot give up on these social issues, because if we do, we're not going to have anything else to stand on. Without these social issues, we're just going to fall apart as a group. No, what we're going to fall apart as a group with is yelling at each other, saying, oh, I'm not going to support you because you don't agree with one thing about me. Because we disagree on one thing. You are not a Republican. You're a rhino. But you know what's going to happen? It's going to be a repeat of what happened the past 3 elections. We are going to lose until we pick up what we have differences and we realize that we're not going to agree on every single issue. So this is what I want to leave the show with. Stop with the complaining and the bickering back and forth, saying, nah, we don't agree with you, you're a rhino. And listen, focus on the issues of which no one can disagree with us on. Somehow the Democrats got this. The Affordable Care Act, it is garbage. It's awful. But do you know why it went through? Because of the way that they worded it. Not every Democrat agreed with it. Almost all of them did, but not all of them agreed with it. But you know why it went through the Democrats and some of the Republicans in the House and the Senate and then eventually the executive? Because of their word choice. Do you know why it's a higher possibility now than ever for minimum wage to be increased? Because of word choice. Because of what they are talking about. I do not want to vote for somebody who is focused on a social issue. Why? Because that's the only thing that they want to differ on, and they're going to continue to argue about it. And you're going to look at these ratings on people's shows who are continuously talking about the same freaking social issue, and their ratings are going to plummet. They are going to plummet. As soon as this issue is solved, they're going to go off. Not off in a good way. They're going to plummet. We need to talk about fiscal responsibility, and we need to talk about it now, with the elections coming up and all the crap that's going on in our nation. Stop talking about social freaking issues. We get it. We've gotten it for the past 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 years. Everyone knows what we think. Everyone knows what we think. Stop trying to make us understand something we already know. Stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. Whew. I feel like drinking with Bob. What's next, people? What the heck is next? So, thank you so much for listening to the Jeff and Alan Show. Although Alan is not here, please contact us multitude of ways. Go on JFN Community, or JFN. Oh, I forgot what our forum was called. JFN. I am an awful freaking person. JFNcommunity.freeforums.net. You can also contact just 323-813-JAAS. JAAS. Yep, I got that right. You can also contact me on Twitter at the JHP and at PizzaMan721. Thank you so much for listening on this amazing Tuesday, cold Tuesday afternoon, evening, morning, whenever you're listening to this. Maybe it's next Friday. I don't know. Thank you so much for listening. I will catch you guys later. Until next time, may God bless and may God save this great nation.